Hey guys, how are ya? So yeah, just another vlog here. This one's an exciting one because I got some new parts because it was my birthday the other day. So yeah, let's get into it. So as from the title, I got a Nardi wheel and a boss kit. So this one's supposed to fit a Mark II. It did say it fits a Toyota Blip, which is the station wagon version, but I contacted the supplier here in Australia and they said it would fit a Mark II as well. So hopefully it fits. So yeah, I feel like this is a funny moment for me because I feel like all guys that are into cars at a young age will fit steering wheels and whatnot to cars. But when I was growing up, most of my cars had hand controls and airbags and stuff like that in them. So I didn't really need to change the wheels. They were in good condition. I was into V8s and like Australian cars like Commodores, so it's not heaps common to replace those wheels. So yeah, I've never done it. So this is a first for me. I have brought an aftermarket steering wheel before, but it was for my racing simulator and I put it on a Logitech system, so that's all I've done before. And I didn't let that last long. I actually took it back off. I didn't like it. It was a bit too heavy. So here we have it. Comes with a nice card with some history of Nardi. I got the corn leather, like the perforated leather, and it is dished. I thought I'd try the dish. I didn't really want just flat. I got the red stitching to match the red pieces of my interior. And here's the boss kit. Comes with a nice surround, and it also comes with the plugs to cancel the airbag light out, which I like. I really like this feature. Comes with a nice little signature engraved into the wheel. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on how to install it because all the boys that I watch on YouTube, like Jimmy Oakes and Adam LZ, Tommy FS, seem to change wheels around like willy-nilly, and they're kind of just like snap, bang, on. They don't actually show you how to do it. So I'm guessing it's pretty simple. Like I said, I've never done it. It's a first for me. It's pretty exciting because I've been looking forward to it for a while. And yeah, I'll do that now. So this is my factory wheel. Yes, it has got an airbag, but I don't know if it's got that Takata one in it that's actually dangerous. I don't like it. And I've seen airbags do weird and wonderful things in accidents which are unexpected. So I don't really trust them too much. So yeah, I do have some wear on the factory leather, especially this side. It's quite shocking. It feels rough in your hands when you let the wheel spin. It's lost a lot of grip. It's very smooth and slippery. So yeah, I'll delete it. It's got no hand controls, which is good and makes it easy. And we'll go from there. So I think first, I don't know if that does not pull off, that just beeps the horn. But I think there's some, can't really see, but some torque screws in around the wheel that I have to remove first. Alrighty, make sure your wheel's straight. Mine's not at the moment because I'm trying to get these screws to fall out. They don't seem to come out. I've got to work that out. I also disconnected the battery because I don't think I want to hit that horn constantly, and it's probably best to do it anyway. So those torque bits in the sides are T30s, so you'll need a T30 torque bit wrench. So yeah, they were very difficult to get out. They don't come out fully, and they're very recessed in there. I believe I'm supposed to have plastic caps on top that you got to remove first too. I don't have them. But yeah, I had to use a really thin screwdriver to sort of pry the last bit of the bolt out. And out comes the airbag and horn button. There's some plugs I've got to disconnect, and that should separate. So now that's removed, I've undone the plug. It's only one plug. You can see one of the torque screws just in here jammed, so it sits in here, and it's fairly recessed in from the plastic shoulder, and it goes into these here. So they're just a bit awkward to get to, but once you've got it and you've pried them out, it does come. So I believe now there's also this little ground that can come off. I believe now it'll be just a matter of taking this main bolt off, leaving the nut on of course, and then pulling the wheel till it comes off from the spline, because you got to leave the nut on, otherwise you'll smack yourself in the face like I have done once in the past when I removed a factory wheel and then put the same wheel back on. So it's a 19, needed a pretty long extension to get the difference in the offset of the wheel and clear it, but that's what it is. Alrighty, I just got it loose. So just a couple big bumps on the wheel like that from around. Broke it loose. And once I get that plug through, that is the factory wheel off. Now, I have read somewhere that this has like a spring system in it or something. It must be for the wires so they don't get tangled up through the shaft. Just going to leave it where it is because it needs like 5 turns or something, and I know people have stuffed it up. So I don't see the point in removing that unless I need to. So the Boss kit did actually come with some instructions in Japanese, which I obviously can't read, which isn't handy. It's got some illustrations that give you some sort of minimal detail. Most of it's on removing your factory wheel. It sort of starts around here somewhere where it shows you to put the Boss kit on, just about feeding the wires, but I think I might be able to work it out. It should be pretty straightforward. It actually comes with a T30 torque bit, so if you don't have one and you're buying a what was it, HKB Boss kit, I should remember that, you'll actually get one. What I'm saying is, yeah, definitely don't remove this. It needs 5 turns to be factory. It's got a thing that says top here, and it also has indicators here that match up, so you can adjust it so they line up. So that's straight, 5 turns obviously still. And now the Boss kit just goes on. Just got to feed the wires into their spots, so it's got a cutout in there that they must go through and put it in. This also has top road on it, so you know which way it goes. Pretty straightforward. Oh, this is a fail, so oh, hang on, they're messaging me now. So yeah, I have an issue where the Boss kit doesn't actually fit. So it has this like plastic rear housing on it with locating holes that are supposed to line up with pins inside the clock spring here, but I have this other shape thing with like V's instead. So when I put this on, it kind of fouls plastic to plastic before the spline even locates. So I've been talking to some people on the JZX Australia page as well as the supplier, and this part number is OT-202, and they might think that a OT-236 is the one I need. So some people are saying that that's actually listed as the non-airbag model, and also another guy that has done this used a Boss kit for a non-airbag model on his airbag model. So it's a bit weird, but hopefully the supplier will work it out and get back to me next week, because it is also Easter and a long weekend, so I won't find out for 4 days now, which kind of sucks. So we'll continue this video once I know. Alright, putting the wheel back on my factory one just because, well, I'm going to want to drive the car probably over the next couple of weeks while I wait for an answer. If you ever just want to take your factory wheel off and put it back on again, I'll zoom in. I've got some light on it. So the screws that come in from the side that are hard to get out, actually you can like pop them in before you put the horn and airbag on, and they have a little groove and they have this retaining clip. That's what stopped it from coming out in the first place, but you can pop it in and it holds it there just out of alignment, so then you can put this back in and they're already in place for you to screw them in. It's actually really nifty. Alrighty, it's been a while since I made a video. I don't know if I'm going to put this one on the last video where my Boss kit didn't fit. It's been 4 or 5 weeks of waiting to try and work out what Boss kit I needed for this steering wheel, and I finally got it from Japan. It worked out to be like half the price of the one I bought here in the country for like the same thing. It's just a slightly different design. It looks like it may fit. It has some grooves or little bits of spline that look like it actually lines up with the factory part. So I'm keen to try that later. So here it is, straight from Japan. Comes with a few other bits and pieces like this big collar. The other one had that. This looks identical to the other one almost, besides it's so hard with one hand. There we go. So yeah, it has like these bits of stems sticking out of it, or like tapered grooves. Not really a groove, but they go into the groove of the car. It looks machined down. So yeah, the other one had a big flat on the bottom of it, as you can remember, and it fouled on everything. So this looks much better. So yeah, for anyone else trying to fit a Boss kit to a 110 and has similar issues, because I don't know, it sounds like some people get that one I first brought fit, whether they take the clock spring off, but it's not recommended, but you can do that. I didn't really want to. I wanted to leave the clock spring in, plug the cables in, and delete the alarm for the airbag out of the car. But if I can find it, yeah, that's the number there. I'll turn the camera in. So it's an OT-236. So on the Japanese site, like it says there, JZX110 Mark II. So this is my work ute, just a Rodeo, like 93 model. You've probably seen in my other videos, I did the tail shaft the other day. So I had the back end bearing let go in here. It had been squeaking for a long time, but it finally let go. And I found the issue and got all new bearings with some greasable nipples put in by a local mechanic. I also bought a new center bearing because I originally thought that was the issue, but it's not. So I've got to put this back in because I want to drive this to work tonight. But he also gave me an output seal for the gearbox, which has been leaking since I've ever owned the car. So it'd be nice to not have it leak as well. So I'll just chuck this in. I won't film it. It's pretty boring, straightforward, and then we'll get on to the Boss kit. Hopefully this video turns out alright, because I can't remember what I filmed like a month ago when I last took this off. But got our little bag. It actually supplies some tools to help get this steering wheel off. Yeah, I did see the torque bit in there, so that'll help get those screws on the side. I won't really film me taking this apart because you've already seen that once before. Alrighty, here we are. I've looked at it. I've tried it. Those slots line up with those slots factory, and it seems to go on. So it doesn't want to go on much further than that, but it is going on, and I think that's all it needs to go on. So I'm happy with that. I've just noticed that like this plug's the same as this one. I don't know why you can't just leave that one in, but I might change it just because they've given me a new one. But then the other plug they've given me, oh, it's in the bag, which this and this don't match up, and this is just another like single cable as well, so I'm a little bit confused. Not sure what it's supposed to do, and of course all the instructions are in Jap, so I can't read it. I've just got illustrations, and they don't do a lot with the cables, but I'll work it out. At least it looks like it's going to bolt on, and if I have to rewire some wires, well, I think that'd be the horn, that'd be the airbag, which is non-existent, so you've just got to really put something in there. I guess that's what some of these resistors are for. You just jam them in that maybe, and then it cancels it. As long as there's connection through here, I think it'll get rid of the alarm in the dash. Yeah, so it's on. I've just got to put the nut on, but it says to, well, I've changed this plug over to the one they gave me, even though it's the same. Put it through the hole in the Boss, like it says through the center. It says to leave this one on the outside. Maybe it just like sits up in here, like once you're done. I don't know, it doesn't seem right. But it's definitely on the other side of that hole. So yeah, it says about putting the resistor in here. So you just use the pins, put the resistor in, doesn't matter which way it goes. I don't think it's the resistor. And then that should stop me getting an alarm. And that's about it. Put the nut on and you're done, and then the cover. So yeah, maybe that does just sit in under the cover. But it's pretty simple. So yeah, I've slid the cover over, I put that resistor in, so yeah, the pins just go in as this illustration shows, so they just slide in. Yeah, it shows you here putting the cover on, they just leave it hanging out the side, so it looks like they've tucked it in. So yeah, that's what I did, put the cover on, tucked it in, looks nice. I won't find out about the alarm until I connect the battery up. That would be for the horn on the new steering wheel, so I've got to go grab it and bolt it on. Sick. Alrighty, I can't remember if I filmed this before or showed yous, but the wheel I got is sick, and pulling it out of the box again is making me really excited. I sort of just forgot about this job. I wasn't thinking about doing it anymore, but I still kept the wheel, and all the fuss with getting Boss kits. I've finally had to pull it back out of the box, and seeing it gets me all excited. I think you saw it earlier in the video, I'm not sure, but that was filmed a month ago. But I got a Nardi. I'm so stoked with how good it looks. Just the perforated leather, red stitching to match the red interior. It's dished. It's going to be sick, hopefully. Oh, look at that. Well, as a steering wheel, it looks sick. It's going to work. And I got one more piece. The final touch. The horn, the Nardi symbol. Looks sick. And just like that, we're on. That looks sick. Feels heaps lighter in hand, like smaller. Not so chunky, you got so much more room here. Probably just going to be just generally lighter to turn, I guess. And it looks good. And I don't have an airbag because I don't really want that on the track. Because if you do have a crash or hit something and you got a helmet on, don't really want an airbag hitting me in the face when I've got a helmet on. The helmet's going to do a good enough job. Yeah, so I've got other wheels that I can swap this out with. They're a bit cheaper and stuff, but it's pretty easy to swap back to stock too for when I drive it on the road. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's pretty hard getting the button in. I've never put one of these together before. I just had to sort of pry a little spring up just so it sat in. Hopefully when I put the battery on, I just don't have a horn going off the whole time. Battery's back on. Horn works. Alrighty, I'll start it up. I might just take it for a quick drive around the block, see how the wheel feels. Ignition on. I don't see an airbag. Oh, there is an airbag light there. That's the third top on the right, and it's gone out. So the airbag just went out before I even started the car. So that resistor, just plugging it in, works. Gets rid of that issue. She's revving a little bit high because the computer's got to relearn because I did disconnect it. It'll come back down. Sometimes I got to restart it. Just a little tap of the throttle and it'll come back down. Yeah, I don't know why it does this. I'm not too familiar with the Toyotas with that kind of stuff if it's normal after a battery change, but I usually turn it off. Back on. And now that's a bit more normal. It'll warm up as normal. Alright, let's go see how this feels. Alrighty, one thing I notice is that because it's dished, it's further away from my indicators and my wiper stalks, so I kind of have to stretch my fingers a bit. The first time I did it, I completely missed them, so I guess that's one disadvantage of having the dished wheel. But then I guess the advantage of it is in more of a race kind of situation, your hands are much more clear of the stalks and you won't accidentally put your wipers and indicators on when you're drifting and sliding around. So I guess that's one benefit, and that's why people choose that kind of wheel. I didn't think about that when I bought it, but I still like it because I have hit the wipers on and off. Overall, this is sick. I love it. It actually feels like it's meant to be in this car. It's heaps easier to sort of grip and use. It's lighter, doesn't feel so bulky, and yeah, the car just makes the car feel sportier, if you know what I mean. Sounds good against that wall. I haven't drove up here in this car yet. I kind of wanted to drift these corners. It's like a little downhill left into a right, and it looks like someone actually already has. I've heard cars up here. It'd be a bit of fun, but it's too close to my house and I don't want my neighbours hating me, so I haven't actually drove this far up before. Oh, I have, but it was dirt, I think. And you got like another bend here, uphill into another right. Then it goes into a cul-de-sac, so you could have a lot of fun here. Like just full throw it in here and spin around and then go back and do it again. Back out of the cul-de-sac and then yeah. Down here into a right. Bit too long for a transition, well for me anyway, but I know some people that could probably do it. And then now it's a nice left-hander uphill into a uphill right-hander over a crest. But you wouldn't want to fuck up and hit that wall either. That'd be nasty. But I'm really happy with this wheel. Stoked. So yeah, finally got it fitted after a very long wait, but it looks sick, it feels great. Yeah, just that reach for the indicator stalk is a little bit more than what I would probably want, but it is handy for sliding around and doing all that kind of sports stuff so you don't bump them. But I have big hands, so I just got to get used to the position of them. I'm sure it'll take only a couple more drives and I won't even notice it. Anyone with the small hands might complain, but it's my car and I think it's a good thing anyway. So yeah, if you don't want that, I'd say don't get the dish, just get the flat, and yeah, go from there. It'll still look great, but I do like that aggressive look of the dished look. You'll see that in the actual probably title. And if you've watched till now, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Subscribe, share me. I'm gonna try and do some more videos over the next couple of weeks. I haven't got too much going on with Corona and stuff, and getting money and buying parts to then supply you guys with entertainment is kind of a bit hard at the moment, but we'll get there. So thanks again. Cheers.